I am not kidding when I say that 5 eggs per day saved my life. Tell me if you feel the same way that I do. This might sound familiar. I feel like, for me, if I don't do anything to fight against it, my kind of like default way of living, like my factory settings, the default way that I feel is low energy, low mental health, and poor physical health. I feel like I'm constantly, like I have low vitality, low ambition, right? I'm tired. I feel like I have to constantly like work to improve my mental health. And I feel like it is difficult for me to be in good health. And this is not normal. This is not the way that it is supposed to be. Your body is designed to provide you with tons of energy, good mental capability so that you can overcome challenges and obstacles in your life, and good physical capability so it can be strong, it can grow and adapt to whatever physical challenges it encounters, right? Low vitality, lethargic, tired, weak, poor mental health, like you're stressed or you're constantly like, you feel like sad, depressed. That isn't normal. What it means is you are unhealthy, right? And this is a problem that is specifically in men linked to testosterone and low testosterone levels. Your levels of the hormone testosterone, like the male hormone, directly affect your energy, your mood, your ambition, your vitality, and just how easy it is for you to get stronger, for you to grow in response to training. Testosterone is linked to hand grip strength, like almost directly. This is why, by the way, bodybuilders will inject steroids. All steroids just mimic the natural hormone testosterone within your own body. And so when they inject steroids, they're raising their testosterone levels to levels that are way higher than normal, way higher than natural. What that does is that allows them to put on muscle mass way faster and way more than they otherwise naturally could. And that's unhealthy, but it's an example of how much of a role testosterone plays in your body, in your health, in your life, right? So if you constantly feel like you're lethargic, like you're weak, you can't get stronger, and you're, sorry, my girlfriend's texting me, and you are constantly like in a bad mood all the time, I understand, because I was there. And it's an issue of probably low testosterone, maybe some other vitamin deficiencies as well, but likely mainly low testosterone. And whole eggs are the solution. You don't need supplements. You don't need to go to like a store and buy like, have you ever seen those like tubs of the testosterone booster powder or capsules or whatever? It's like weird, but you don't need ashwagandha. You don't need any of that. What you need is whole eggs. Specifically, eggs with the yolk, right? So egg whites won't work. It has to be a whole egg. Egg whites have protein in them, but they don't have the nutrients that the yolk carries. We're going to talk about two today. An egg yolk contains a lot of nutrients, but there are two that are very important for us. One of them is cholesterol, and the other is vitamin D, right? First of all, cholesterol. Cholesterol has been demonized for a very, very, very long time. It was believed previously that cholesterol was linked with cardiovascular disease and was the cause of cardiovascular disease, right? This is because what doctors did was they looked at cardiovascular disease patients, right? And they did like tests on them, and they noticed that their cholesterol was very, very high, specifically a certain type of cholesterol called LDL cholesterol or bad cholesterol. There's also HDL cholesterol, which is considered the good cholesterol. So HDL good, LDL bad. And these doctors looked at the blood of these cardiovascular disease patients, and they had really high cholesterol. And so what they did was they concluded that, okay, this really high levels of cholesterol, specifically this bad cholesterol, is linked with heart disease. So doctors recommended that people avoid foods with high cholesterol, such as red meat, eggs, stuff like that. The problem with that is that cholesterol is the building block, the precursor to testosterone. Cholesterol is one of the things that is required to create testosterone. Another issue is that has come out in recent studies. Dietary cholesterol does not have any effect on blood cholesterol pretty much at all. They found no significant increase in blood cholesterol and LDL cholesterol in the blood when people actually consumed higher cholesterol foods. So that was complete bullshit. They gave the wrong recommendation. Regardless, cholesterol is very, very important for testosterone. And so if you have low levels of cholesterol, guess what? Your body's going to have trouble synthesizing cholesterol for testosterone. Dietary cholesterol, such as from eggs, when you eat whole eggs and the yolk, all that cholesterol that you just digested is free resources for your body to use. So it's free building block material that your body can use to turn into testosterone. When you consistently eat high cholesterol foods like eggs, your body has a free supply of building material for testosterone. Our goal is not the same as the bodybuilders where we, inject like steroids to increase our T levels to an insane amount. Our goal is just to let our body do its natural thing and create the natural amount of testosterone that it can. Because the mechanism in your body is already there to create enough testosterone, become a high testosterone male, to perform well, to have good energy, to have good vitality. It's all already there. We just want to provide it with the right conditions, the right resources, so that it can increase testosterone to healthy, good, high levels. So when you are constantly eating foods that have cholesterol in them, your body has a free supply of cholesterol, and it never has to, it never wants for anything. Even though it doesn't raise blood cholesterol, so the food that you eat doesn't raise LDL cholesterol in the blood, your body still has access to that cholesterol. And the cholesterol that you just digested is much less taxing for your body to use than if it were to not get that cholesterol and then have to synthesize it yourself. Because your body can synthesize the cholesterol itself. It's just much more of a taxing process and it results in less, right? So when you eat daily eggs, you don't have a deficiency in building materials and your body can build as much as it wants, right? Another very important nutrient that egg yolks contain is vitamin D. Vitamin D is important for the creation of testosterone, the production of testosterone in your body. So vitamin D and healthy testosterone levels are linked. But also, fixing a vitamin D deficiency that you probably have. All of our ancestors used to be basically just like farmers, like 90% farmers, before the last 100 years, right? So we would spend most of our day, 90% of our day, in the sun. Nowadays, unless you're like a construction worker or something like that, you probably spend 90% of your day indoors. In the windows in our houses and in our cars don't actually allow the healthy, like beneficial rays of the sun to get in at all. So you're basically spending like zero time in the sun every single day, unless you're like a construction worker, for example. So basically all of us are guaranteed to have vitamin D deficiencies. And vitamin D deficiencies can, number one, fuck with hormone production, and number two, lead to a bunch of other related, like similar health issues to low testosterone, right? So it's all kind of the same vein of like low energy, low vitality, poor health, poor mental health. And so we want to fix that. Whole eggs in the yolk is one of the few foods that actually contain vitamin D. So by eating whole eggs every single day, you are supplementing for deficiency that you probably have. So basically eggs are very, very good for you and will save your life and your energy. There's science to back this up too. The International Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, Bagari et al., performed a study where they basically took two groups and had them do resistance training and then eat eggs afterwards. So one group had 3 whole eggs after resistance training, and the second group had 6 egg whites to basically match the protein to make sure the protein wasn't the deciding factor, right? So same training, same amount of protein. One of them had whole eggs with the egg yolk. Group A had significant improvements in not only testosterone, but also body fat percentage and hand grip strength. So after all that, they saw improvements in testosterone, but also body fat percentage and hand grip strength as well. So, and that was just from consuming an egg yolk compared to consuming just like egg whites, right? So the yolk, the nutrients in egg yolks, in whole eggs, is very, very, very beneficial. Now, in that particular study, they didn't see a huge improvement in testosterone, which I thought was kind of like disappointing, right? It was basically like 24 nanograms per deciliter. So the normal range is considered anywhere from like 300 to 1,000. So 24 is not a lot, right? I know for myself, and from the stories that I've heard, that consuming daily eggs just in the morning, right? So like four eggs a day more, makes you feel so much better. Like you consistently feel like you have higher testosterone, stuff like that. So I think the science is still catching up to this, to be honest. But if you go by like older wisdom, right? Bodybuilders used to eat so many eggs a day, not just for the protein, but for like the anabolic benefits. Eggs are super, super, super important. They will win you your life back. They will win you your vitality back, your energy back, your health back, and your strength back. So eat eggs, and they're delicious. I like to consume 5 eggs a morning. I've experimented with more, like 8 eggs a day, sometimes like 10 eggs a day. 5 eggs a day works well for me right now. But yeah, I just wanted to share this in case that helps you. So eggs are very good. Eat eggs. Thank you for watching. God bless.